Hey YouTube, what's up? I got a special surprise this time. I've bought a PC for $257, and let's see if it does it. So what I'm running here is 4 gigs of RAM and 2 gigahertz of processor, which is crappy. But if you notice, when I show you later, this is an A6, which you have Intel's i3, i5, i7. Same with the AMD, you have the same number, different numbers like that. An A6 is like an i5. So this is a 2 gigahertz, it's a very low i5. What the graphics card is running, I do not know. But I've been able to heavily, and I do mean heavily, tweak the games. And I've got Black Ops 2 running. I've got Warframe, I've got Oblivion, I've got Onigiri. We're going to hop into Warframe over here. I already got it running. And if you notice, hang on a second. Now, there is a catch to running. Let's change my settings again. Okay, I set to a different thing. To running these games, they're not going to look the best. But if you notice what I've done, this is a 1080p monitor, so I'm not running it at 1080p. Nor am I running it at the best settings. Most of the stuff has been turned off. And they have dynamic resolution, which basically means you can set how much of a resolution you're using. Like, if you have 1080p, you don't have to use the full 1080p. It's less than 1080p, but it's covering the full screen, because you have so many pixels in a screen, and if you use all the pixels, it's going to take more, the smaller, and when it's the smaller ones, more of them means they're smaller, so they get bigger and they take less space, less space, and it's less graphics, less quality. So you actually have worse quality, but you have faster frame rate. All this has been custom set to provide the best graphics I can get, and mostly you turn off the shadows and the the texture memory on Warframe basically is just texture quality, and you're gonna want on this PC to put it on medium and the extra sculpt to 10x4, but you have to set lower texture quality. This is like a trick I've learned. You set lower texture quality, higher anisotropic filtering. Sometimes you have to set higher anti-aliasing if you can. And in this case you have TAA sharpening, which you just adjust that, you make it go up and makes it look better. Yada yada yada. Shadows are the worst because shadows are everywhere. You'll learn that about games. Shadows are everywhere. Turn those off. Yeah. So I got this game to run. It stutters occasionally, but it runs good. Then I got Black Ops 2. I meant to do multiplayer. And these games do not look like total crap because the way I've adjusted them. If you look at them, you will see, and I'm going to play Black Ops 2 to show you. Come on, it is a little slow. There is a problem with me doing this because they'll probably run out the process, like the processor and the CPU is what they call it. And the RAM might not last as long, because when I'm running Warframe, I'm at 90-something% usage of the RAM and the CPU. And the reason why I'm able to play these games isn't because my computer is actually capable of it. You have what's called a paging file. And if you actually change how much your paging file has, you get more. When your RAM runs out, it puts it in a paging file. and then your CPU takes over and it's pushing to the paging file. Plus the fact I'm heavily modifying the graphics. So, it probably froze. It freezes occasionally. So, it's pushing to the... I don't even know if I can do recordings with this thing. Because it's pushing so hard with these games. Like, just running a game takes up most of the computer's processes. I never tried recording with a game playing. But, we'll see if it works. So, we're going to get into some, basic match. Custom. It don't look like total crap. I haven't tried Overwatch yet. I'm going to try that next. See, that looks pretty good. It does say no longer load than other computers because, like I said, I've maxed out the CPU and the RAM just loading a game. Which ain't good for the computer, but I'm getting another one next month. I have almost all the money except for $200, and it's gonna place this one. I've managed to convert 10 video files at once using that paging file trick smoothly because it's transferring faster because of that, because it's putting stuff in the paging file. The paging file stores, when you run out of RAM, it stores the additional information. It accesses it randomly and stores the information in there until, so they can run faster. So you don't look that bad. But if I didn't have the paging file, I tried doing it without the paging file, I wasn't able to play Black Ops 2. So it does make a difference. Now, network, that's kind of different. When the network stutters, it gets bad. Like, if the network starts lagging and the game starts lagging because the network's lagging, I've had that happen. It's because, like, hard to play and talk for me. When you're playing online in a match, you have more people. So you have people with different connections. One guy might be in Canada, one guy might be in Asia. And because of that, his server is in a different place. So you have one guy who has a bad server, causing you to lag, and then heavy graphics causes your computer to be slower than it's supposed to be. Like it is now, it's still slow, you just don't notice it. And they can cause your computer to make you, like, it seems like your mouse is not working, but what it is your mouse, like, your computer's going to a point where it's freezing up a little. And that's on Black Ops 2, it's done that. Warframe, it's just like a, I mean, it plays just fine, it plays like a stagger. See, this works. So that's what I got right now. I got this. I can play online with them. I can play them. They work. I'm going to show you my settings for this one. And I'm going to show you... I'm looking forward to Overwatch because you have so many settings you can adjust. I'm going to see how this one works. Okay, so I got this one set to 1024 by 768. The reason why is, again, you cannot adjust how many pixels are in the resolution itself. So I have to adjust the resolution itself. Okay? The shadows are turned off. The ragdoll I've disabled because when you hit somebody, the ragdoll has to kick in and then they have to fly somewhere. That takes it off. That makes it why it goes slower. Shadows everywhere. Take that off. Texture quality, medium, normal, same thing. Texture filtering, low. You don't really need much texture filtering for a PC like this. Anti-aliasing, same thing, 4 times. FXAA, off. Ambient occlusion, off. Depth of field, low. Never cared for it much anyway. And almost every time I do this on a PC like this, sync every frame, no. Max frames unlimited. And that will get you to be able to play it.